Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back. It's been a
Welcome
hot
back.
minute since we recorded, but not since we posted. So,
For everyone else, it's been a week, but for us, it's really been 2 weeks.
yeah,
Um, so hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We've had a couple chats and catch-ups, like very briefly in
Hmm.
passing since we sat down and recorded. And I feel like a lot has happened, and I've kind of filled you in on a couple things, but I feel like I
Yeah,
haven't. But I'm excited to like get into it again with you.
yeah, of course. Welcome to the Is It Cool podcast. I'm Caitlin,
I'm Delaney.
and we are your hosts this week, every week, and on coming weeks.
For
Uh,
as long as we can keep this up, which hopefully is
a long time.
a long time enough to the point where we can have like brand deals or something and like turn this into something, you know?
Fingers
I was actually
crossed.
thinking about that after we talked about our getaway to the Catskills. I was like, what if we were able to partner with them for the next trip in
I
October? Like,
would
what if they reached out and were like, hey, we want you to record in one of
We
the
should
cabins or
do
something?
we should do a podcast episode in the cabins.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if they said,
Uh,
hey, do you want to come and do a
we gotta
podcast in
reach
the
out.
cabins?
Send
We
a little
have
business
to.
email. A little business email.
Anyway,
What are you drinking today?
Um,
I know it's too hot, but what are you drinking?
I am drinking it out of my favorite mug. I'm turning it around because if I use my other hand, I'll burn it. But it's my favorite Ralph's mug. I'm drinking ginger tea with honey.
Mm,
Um, little just
afternoon pick me up.
afternoon pick me up. I need to feel better, and then also I need to get my period sooner than next week. So apparently ginger helps,
Okay.
is what I read. So we'll see what happens. I'll let you know what
Yeah.
happens. I won't let the viewers know
I
what
yeah, I think
happens
that'll be
and
a good
listeners.
good discernment to make. I have black tea. My favorite black tea. It's the I don't remember. It's the gold something. It's like it comes.
Yogi?
No, it
Lipton?
comes. No, no, no. It comes in like a. It's in the refrigerated section, and it.
Oh, Gold Peak?
There it is.
Yeah,
Gold
that's your
Peak.
favorite.
It is my favorite. I don't like the other one, the one that comes in a black container with a black top.
I vaguely know what you're talking
It's
about because
okay.
I really
There's
don't
like
drink iced tea.
two main brands of like iced black tea, and there's the one in the black container, and that one's like okay. And then you have but they sell it in small bottles, so you're able to like get it when you go to like Wawa or something. And then
Yeah,
there's like the Gold Peak in the orange container, and that is just
okay.
the best. So,
So, question for you. So, do
yeah.
you like straight black iced tea or
Yeah.
does it have to be sweetened?
Oh, I don't drink sweet anything.
Got it. Okay.
I
So,
think
like,
I've genuinely can feel myself gag if I even sip it and it is sweet tea, it makes me want to vomit.
so I know you don't drink coffee, so sweet tea is like your version of an iced coffee.
Unsweet tea.
Unsweet black iced tea
Yeah.
instead of like an iced coffee. Okay, fair.
But I have
I've
been,
known this about you for years, but it always
yeah,
boggles my mind because I'm such a coffee girl, having
lore.
grown up in Seattle.
Here's a lore
But
drop. So I drank coffee. So the dance studio that I grew up at had a Starbucks right next door.
oh, that's
Okay.
dangerous.
Very dangerous. And I was like 13 and I'd get a Frappuccino every day at like 4 o'clock going into dance. Why I was allowed to do that, I don't know. Anyways, I was dancing like 30 hours a week. The Frappuccino wasn't going to hurt me.
Oh my
But
God.
yeah. Then I went to college, and my college had us do a summer semester first to like acclimate to being in college, which basically is just an excuse for you to party 3 days a week because you only have classes Monday through Thursday. So
Honestly, sexy.
I had a good time. So I would drink 2 to 3 cups of coffee a day, Monday through Thursday, when I would have class. I'd get up at 7 because I had an 8 a.m. So I'd get up at 7. I'd have a cup of coffee. I'd go to Starbucks on campus right across the way. I went to an
Okay.
outdoor campus, so it was like across the courtyard.
Yeah.
I'd go to Starbucks, I'd get a coffee. And then I would likely get another one to rally for us to go out and party.
Mm-mm.
And then I was having severe panic attacks, and I was like, I wonder why. And like shaking, crying, throwing up. And my mom was like, well, how many cups of coffee did you have today? And I'd be like, three, four. And she's like,
That's
yeah,
why.
I think that's it. You don't do well with that. And so I stopped drinking coffee cold turkey. And also, I broke my Keurig because I was using it so much.
Okay,
So,
I
yeah, I don't
have.
drink coffee anymore. I have been because my fiance has a Keurig that my mom got him for Christmas. So, I will drink coffee if I'm like really tired and I do like a soy almond milk situation because I'm lactose intolerant. So, I'll do like a soy almond milk vanilla situation and it's very
Mhm.
good, but I get buzzed. Like I am already a talker. I'm talking to the wall when I drink
I
coffee.
love Caitlin when she's on a buzz, but when she's on a buzz, she's on another level. Like it's honestly
Like
hysterical.
shut me up. I it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like to the point where I was in a meeting and I just wouldn't shut up and I was like I'm so sorry. Like I noticed it myself. I was like I'm so sorry. I'm gonna stop talking. And they were like you're
Oh,
good.
I
I was
love
like
that.
I don't think so.
No, I love a good cup of coffee. I always have. I won't drink like, anything from a Keurig though because I have a hot take. Keurig is coffee bean. Keurig is coffee water,
Yeah.
and an Nespresso is coffee juice. It's like the coffee concentrate. It's like
Okay.
thicker. It's like it has more body to it. It actually has the
So
real
which is
flavor.
so the Nespresso would be better in your opinion then.
Yes. Because
Okay.
you
I've
know how
never
like
had an espresso, so
okay, so I love an espresso because it's so much more concentrated. So
mhm.
like the best way I can
Well
put
yeah, it's
it
a
into an
shot.
example, exactly, but you can also brew a cup of coffee with the right
Oh.
size pods
Oh, I
and
didn't know
it's
that.
even better, genuinely better. But what I've noticed is like okay, so if you make a cup of homemade orange juice, like fresh OJ, like you
Hmm.
taste how thick it is, like you
Yeah.
taste like how fresh it is. Sometimes you have a little bit of pulp in it. Maybe that's not your, acquired taste. Like I don't love pulp in my orange juice, but it's just like that. It's thicker, it's creamier, or not
Yeah,
creamier,
I know
but
what
it's
you're
like
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. Versus like you can sometimes get it from the store and it's like half watered down.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like what a Keurig is for me
Okay.
versus an espresso.
My fiance could not live without his uh Keurig machine. My mom, I will not talk about this for very long because it's actually frustrating to talk about. We had to make a wedding registry for like our for like my bridal shower and stuff. And mom was like, "You need a regular coffee pot." And we were like, "Why? Like why? We have a Keurig. Why do we need a coffee pot?" And she's like, "Because when you have people, I come from a very traditional Italian family. This is background, whatever.
Oh yeah, you do.
And so when we have people over for holidays, parties, you make coffee for everyone to have after dinner with your dessert. You should see, Delaney has seen because Delaney comes to our Thanksgivings, but you should see the amount of dessert we have at the end of the night on a holiday. Like
No
it
one's
could,
paying attention to the coffee because there's so many desserts. So why
yeah,
do you need a coffee maker
no
when you're
one
not going to make it?
literally
Because
like
there's so many
this.
desserts on the table.
You have a million different desserts on the table. Coffee, no one cares about. But
No,
you have to have a coffee maker. So we put a coffee maker on our registry. I'm like, I'm never going to use this thing.
no,
Like I'll
you're
use it
not.
maybe twice in my whole life, but it had to be on there. So like God forbid. But
Anyway,
yeah, so that's that. But welcome. Everyone welcome.
welcome to the podcast after our coffee rant and tea rant and
Yeah.
everything rant.
I really want to go first with my first
Honestly, I think you
topic today.
should because
Okay.
I think you're much more into it today than I am.
Okay.
Not
S-
intentionally, but
So I'm gonna start with is it cooler to always split the tab with your friends or to like go one for one and cover them? Okay. And I ask this because I went to breakfast with my fiance this morning and he asked me how many times I'd been to this place in Montclair. And I was like, oh, I've been here like 4 times or whatever. And I've been with a bunch of different friends. It's very good. And, you
I think
know,
I know which place you're talking about too.
on
Is it the one that we went to when Paige and Allie came into town for your
no,
birthday?
that's a different place. I also love that place. I
Okay.
will keep that one forever. That is gate kept to the core for me. No, this one is Raymond's and it's on like Church Street and it's like right in the corner. It's right next to this like doing dishes, like paint pottery place thing.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
a cute little town center. There's an Anthropology over there. Like I don't know why, but like whatever. Anthropology is Sweet Green. There's everything. And they have like a diner and they have just a bunch of restaurants on this little strip. And we go
Okay.
to Raymond's and it's like super packed, but like we get in right away, whatever. And my fiance picks up the tab and whatever, and we're talking. And I just thought about the fact that like whenever you and I go out, odds are we're splitting the tab, or if my fiance is with us, he's taking the tab. Sorry. That's his job.
He's always taking the tab,
That's
even
his
when
job.
I join you guys. Like, I'll never forget the first time,
Hmm.
one of the first times I met him. It was actually, I think it was the second time I met him in person.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to be meeting someone for a date that night in the city. And I was still living in Jersey with you at the time.
Hmm.
And the person I was supposed to go on a date with was flaking on me and whatever, and like wouldn't respond to my text messages, even though I was already in the city, already there, already paid for extra parking. It was annoying, whatever. You and Jeff had already gotten dinner, and then you were going to finish off with somewhere else to grab just some like
Drinks.
after dessert and cocktails. And Jeff invites me to come and join you guys. And I was like, well, I don't want to bombard on your guys' date, but if he's the one not inviting me,
Yeah.
like, sure, I'll come and join. At the end of it, we only had like one or two drinks off like each,
Yeah.
and then there was a dessert that Caitlin and I shared. And at the end of it, I'm trying to Venmo him, and he's like, "No, I got it." I was like, "Jeff, no, like let me pay for my portion. Like that's let me like contribute." And he was like, "No, no." And then I asked you for his Venmo,
And
and you were like,
I don't have
I
it.
don't have it actually."
And here's the thing, like that night, Jeff was like, "Do guys make you pay?" And we were both like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
He was like, "That's disgusting." Like he's a stand-up guy. But it was really funny because now when we go out, I always tell him, I'm like, "We're covering Delaney," and he's like, "Don't." He's like, "What are you talking about?" Like, of course we're covering Delaney. And so whatever. We go out, we do all the stuff.
Which still shocks me every single time. I hope
Yeah.
you know that. Like I don't ever go into a situation expecting for someone
Yeah, of
else to pay,
course.
except for the first date with a guy.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
that's it. But anything else, like I expect to have to pay.
Yeah, I get that. But no, I was like, and like here's the thing, like when I've gone to Raymond's or I've gone other places, my one friend always covers me. Like, and then I have another friend that will cover each other. And I
Yeah.
just think I saw this like meme and it was like a person that doesn't have any money will tell you, "Oh, I got it this time, you cover it next time." And a rich person will be like, "You owe me $1.25."
Yeah.
And I just think that's so true because I don't, when I go out with my friends, like if I, not that I'm like rolling in it, but like if I
Mm-hmm.
have a few extra dollars, like I don't mind covering because,
Yeah.
it's like you came to meet me or I made last minute plans or whatever. Like I think it's all dependent on like the situation or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I would much rather have a friend that's like, "Oh, I'll cover it this time, you got it next time,"
Yeah.
or "I'm gonna make dinner for you because you paid last time," like things like that. I
Yeah.
just feel like it's so much more like meaningful than like
Yeah.
every single time you're splitting the bill and it's like almost awkward to be like, because I go to a book club and I know one person that'll be like, "Well, I only want to pay for what I got and not split it." And I just think that makes it awkward. And it's just kind of like
Yeah.
it doesn't like that $2 difference is not like
Yeah.
changing
So
my
I
life.
have a little bit of an example where like that's kind of similar to that. So
Yeah.
it was we went out to a brunch, and it was after like a work event, and there was a bunch, it was a majority of people that were from out of town
Mhm.
that I see very infrequently, and then one friend of mine who was here, and everyone except for the one friend of mine got alcohol. We all had, there's this place that does like really cool like flights of stuff, and so we went and
Mhm.
got that. And she was like, "I'm down to go ahead and split the bill, but like I don't want to pay for everyone's alcohol because I didn't drink." And there's very like totally fine, like totally fine.
Yeah.
But then with New York, like
Split the bill
you
like that.
can't split the bill like that. Yeah. So like the waiter was able to go ahead and like just split the bill evenly amongst the whole entire table, which was
Mhm.
fine. And then she was like kind of frustrated and upset about that. So I was like, okay, like I'm sorry you're frustrated and upset about that. And like I just went ahead and like Venmoed her some extra like money since she was kind of frustrated and upset. And it's like, I don't want you to be frustrated by this. So like because she also didn't know these other people as well too, and so she didn't
Yeah.
feel comfortable raising a stink, and I didn't want to go ahead and say anything, so it was like, okay, like I know you super well, like just don't worry about it. And she's like, Delaney, like what? I was like, no, just don't worry about it. Like you didn't want to pay for drinks,
Mhm.
totally understand, totally fine. I invited you out here, so
Yeah, I
that's
get
on me.
that.
um but yeah, I mean, like when you go out with friends, like, so for example, like if I go out to a big dinner with a bunch of friends and say our bill comes out to like like $300
Mhm.
or something like that, like we had a nice dinner, we had
Yeah.
drinks or something, like then
Oh yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
for me, I love having like a Venmo debit card for situations like this. It's like, hey
Yeah.
guys, can we take a couple minutes to go and like split the bill, and then everyone Venmos me and I can use the Venmo debit card to pay for dinner, because then it's not like we're having to figure out later. Like, we don't have to
Yeah.
message each other later for anything like that. Like, it's already done and dusted. Like, let's just do it now. But if it's a small, like I have like one or two friends that I'm out with, we're out for coffee or something like that, or like a simple like brunch or like laid back dinner or something like that, yeah, if I can go ahead and cover both of us, then
Yeah.
absolutely, especially if it was something that I initiated,
Yeah.
where I invited you or you came to me situation, like absolutely. And if I came to you and it was like, oh, like you invited me out to come and join you or whatever, and you want to go get drinks or something, like I'll buy your first couple rounds. Like, yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Like, it's a treat for me. Like, I want to do this for, like, it's not like a, I have to or do
Yeah.
this, but it's more just like, it is what it is. But also, this is just the cost of wanting to actually spend quality time with each other sometimes.
Yeah.
So let's just not make it awkward, and I'm going to take care of it.
There's a saying, and it's like, I don't have to, I get to.
Yeah.
And I think for me, I really resonate with that with my friends. So it's like, I don't have to go out to dinner with you. I get to do that because we're
Yeah.
friends and we want to spend time together. Like, I'll bring this here or whatever. Like, I just think that mindset is really important because, like, some people really do nickel and dime you for everything. And, like,
Hmm.
it makes it really awkward to be friends with them because you're like,
Yeah.
nothing is like, and I got you. Like, it's no,
Yeah.
like, there's no, like, it almost feels like it's like transactional as opposed to being a friendship.
Yeah.
Because like every time you go out, I have to send you $25 or 27.06 or whatever. Like
Yeah.
it's just like not,
I recently had a situation where like I went out for bagels and coffee with a friend, and I was at the cash register and she's like, "Oh, what's the total? Like, I'll split it with you." I was like, "No, like I got it." And
yeah,
I covered it. And then she later found out what the total was because she looked at the screen, and then she Venmoed me, and I was like, I didn't say anything to her. Um, but I was kind of like, you didn't have to do that. Like, it's not like I
yeah,
was annoyed, but it was just like, no, I said I have it. Like, thank you for doing that. You didn't have to do that. But I don't know. It kind of felt a little weird.
yeah,
So again, it's like one of those things where it does feel kind of strange sometimes. Like, I'm not trying to nickel and dime you for everything. Like, I'm just, I'm out here. Like, don't worry, I got it. I don't know. Like,
I
to
feel
kind
like,
of wrap this up,
yeah,
Caitlin, is it cool to to split the bill, or is it cool to just, when you can, say, "Hey, I got it," and then just kind of take care of each other when you can?
I think it's cooler to just take care of each other. I think that's what friendship is
Yeah,
about.
I agree. I
Okay,
wholeheartedly agree.
love that.
Okay. So getting on to my first topic this week. Feeling like you're normal and then having a moment. So,
Me all week.
okay, so I recently had, like, yep, you know how you have those like moments where you're like, oh shoot, like I'm malfunctioning to the
Yeah,
max. So that has been me the last couple of days. I didn't necessarily, actually, I did do something. I did something and then found something, and then ever since I found that thing, I was like, oh shoot, like why did I do that? Why did I like find that? Like, just genuinely ask myself, Delaney, why did you do that?
yeah,
Why? And it's nothing serious. It's nothing insane. It's not like it's going to get me in trouble. It's not going to affect my, job or my daily life, or, my friendships with my friends.
yeah,
Like, it doesn't have any effect on my life, genuinely.
yeah,
But it was one of those things where it was like really late at night, and I did it. And I want to thank my younger self for learning, or just thank my younger self for always being a curious person, and
we'll call it that.
being investigative. And I definitely think my criminology classes from high school were coming
Mm,
out to play in this situation.
mm.
But it was just like, see, I mean, Caitlin can probably attest to this. I feel like I don't, and I don't know if this is the right word to use here. I feel like I don't spiral.
No,
I
you don't.
feel I feel like I'm pretty composed majority
Yeah.
of the time, and I feel like I can compartmentalize things. For example, when I walk in the doors at work, my social life and my personal life stays at the door, and I do not pick that back up until I walk out the door. Do I have work kind of follow me out the door? Yeah, but my personal life and my, social life doesn't enter into work with me.
Mhm.
And when it comes to other friendships and situations, I try not to let them kind of bleed into each other, and I try to keep everything kind of separate and kind of to its own. But for this, I don't know what it was. Well, I think I know what it was. Actually, I definitely know what it was. And it kind of relates back to something that started 5 years ago for me. But I don't know how to really like sit with this feeling of like, oh, like that was like a big like freak out moment for me because I'm never like that.
Yeah.
And it's over something very, very small and very insignificant. So I want my best friend's opinion on this because this doesn't happen for me and you saw it as an outsider looking in.
I'm a
So,
spiral addict. I love a good moment where I'm spiraling out of control. Just why wouldn't I? No, I think the thing about spiraling is that like it starts from a logical point, right? It starts from I did this thing and I know I shouldn't have. And then you get into, but why did I do it? And why am I still wanting to do it? And how do I avoid doing it again? And like da, 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 and it just keeps going. And like I've felt that way. This actually like bleeds into my is it cool topic next? Because it's like
okay.
I've been spiraling for the last like month. Just just plain and simple. Like I have gotten into fights over literally nothing. I was sick 2 days in a row and I spiraled because I sat on the couch all day. Like I am the queen of just figuring out how to spiral over nothing.
You are.
Um, it's sorry, I'm just good at what I'm good at, and like it is what it is. But I
You're a
think that
pro.
I am a pro, like college degree in the bag. I just think the thing is when you're spiraling, you have to A, compartmentalize, but you also have to like let it just happen. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
something that you really like to do is like try to stop it in its tracks. And
Yeah.
that just makes it worse because then you're like you'll stop it for a little bit, like almost like putting something in a door, right?
Mm-hmm.
You like put a door stop in, but the door stop is still sliding and
Yeah.
you're still closing the door. And like you kind of just have to let it happen and let it evolve because then like a day later you're like, "Oh, it really wasn't that bad." Or like you have to talk to the right person and just talk it out. And that's the thing, like sometimes when I'm spiraling, I just want to fight. I'm fortunate for my fiance because I just want to fight. But like I just feel the need to pick a fight with somebody and I'm going to get mad about
Yeah.
something that really has nothing to do with anything. I once called my fiance thick-headed and I told him he had a thick skull and he won't let me live it down because of how mean it was.
That's cruel.
But
That's all I have to say about that, but
I love him to death. He's my best friend besides Delaney. But like sometimes I just gotta let it happen. It's just gotta play out the way it's supposed to. And usually you gotta find what I've learned in therapy is you gotta find something that like grounds you before it gets that far. Like I should not have
yeah.
told him that he had a thick skull. But I know now if I'm getting to that point, I gotta get in the shower. I gotta go see the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Like I like need water at my back at all times. Like I just should live at the beach because seeing
Yeah.
the ocean, seeing water, this is why they sent women in the 1800s to the sea. Like this is why they did that. I am a testament to that
Oh my gosh.
psychological study. But like when I'm spiraling, I gotta get in the shower. I literally told Jeff the other day, I was like, I need to go take a shower. And he was like, it's 6 o'clock. I'm like, I just don't underestimate the power of a good shower for me. Like it'll
Yeah.
change the trajectory of my whole day just to take like
For you it
a
does.
burning
Yeah.
hot shower. And like maybe I'll cry a little, maybe I'll scream a little, whatever it takes.
See, that's the other thing I kept doing was I kept screaming. I kept screaming into the void. And then I
Yeah.
literally got home from work the other day and I screamed into the pillow on the couch. I was like, this is not normal. And then
Sometimes it's good to do that.
I stopped myself from I limited myself on being able to do something. So I was like, okay, this is actually going to help. And since I did that, that has helped.
Good. Okay.
And then I saw my friends that night and we went
Hmm.
out for dinner and drinks. And then I was filling them in on everything that was going on. And they were like, Delaney, this is not you. This is not normal. Like, are you okay? I was like, no, clearly not.
But here's my thing. You just gotta let it happen. And I know that seems
Okay.
like bad advice. I really do. I can see why that would seem like bad advice. But once you get it out of your system, you feel 10 times more normal than you
Yeah.
did before because you're like, oh wow, that was just me being crazy.
Yeah.
And then like I went for a walk the other day and I was like, wow, mile and a half, nothing. Piece of cake.
Yeah.
And it was nice outside and I saw the sun and I listened to my audiobook and I was like, I'm so normal. I've never had seasonal depression. I've never been crazy a day in my life. But I spiraled all week up until I took that walk and took a shower. Like,
Yep.
you just gotta let it happen.
Anyway, that was my little spiraling episode that is slowly ending
I love that for you. You just
now.
gotta let it happen.
But
Let it run its
yeah,
course. What's
anyway.
your is it cool topic then?
Um so I feel like I'm still undecided on whether or not it's cool spiral. I think for
Okay.
me with this situation, part of it was because I feel like I have things so well under control
Hmm.
on the day to day. And so to have something like this happen when I haven't had that happen in a very, very long time, like a couple of years long time. Because I don't even remember the last time I actually spiraled over something. So to have this be like a oh shit moment, I was like,
Yeah.
oh. So I don't know. I don't know if it's cool or not, but I think that's because I haven't had a lot of these recently. I think I would say personally, I don't like how I feel when I spiral. So I'm going to say
Yeah.
it's not in that sense, but I also can see how it can be healthy to have
Yeah.
these kind of situations occasionally. So I can see why it can be cool. So I'm kind of in the middle on this one.
I don't think it's cool to spiral. I think it's cool to go through your emotions.
Yeah.
It's not cool to spiral because you can do things that you would never do on a day to day, and it makes you do things you don't want to do.
So I
But
think if we put it into that perspective, I think it's cool to be allowing yourself
mhm,
the freedom to
feel
go
your
through your
emotion.
emotion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. That's the cool thing.
I think so too.
Okay.
All right.
My last thing. Oh, I'm on the wrong tab. My bad. Okay. Okay, so my last thing is it cool to find extra hobbies to deal with seasonal depression?
Before we go any further, absolutely 1000%.
Yeah, I've been really trying. So, like, part of my spiral recently has been like, I just don't feel creative enough. And like,
Yeah.
I'm a type A person, but I think type B, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So, like, I'm very type A. Always on time with my deadlines at work. Like, I'm on top of my stuff. Like, I'm always ahead on everything I need to do. But I like to think creatively. I like to think about how could I do this better for my kids? How could this be worded better? I'm a writer at heart. So, like, I teach English, which is like the best thing for me because I'm constantly writing and doing literary analysis and all this stuff. But I haven't written physically something, anything since 2022, really. Maybe the end of 2023. Like I haven't seriously written anything. I was writing fan fiction for a hot minute from like basically all of high school and college. But and a little bit after. And then I stopped when I met Jeff because I was like, I don't really care that much anymore. I also like detached myself from fan spaces a lot, so it was, oh, damn it. We're running out of time. Okay, I'm gonna make this quick. I detached myself from fan spaces, but I read a lot now. So a
Yeah.
lot of my creative space is really filled up um with reading and like what I can read and going to different worlds. But I've been wanting to get into like clay, like the air dried clay. I saw something on TikTok this morning and I was like, I could do that.
I've
And
been wanting to
I
make like
think I
air
want to do
layer
that.
magnets for so long. Like I think it'd be so cute to add to my fridge.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna invest in like the things. It doesn't seem like you need a lot. I already have paint, so you just need the clay and then like a rosin, and you need like a UV nail dryer thing. That's
Yeah.
really all you need. And I think I'm gonna invest the money to do it because
Yeah.
it just seems like it would be so good for me to like do something with my hands, put an audiobook on and just like work.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
agree.
creative and it's after work, so I can do it in my free time or on the weekends. So yeah, I think I'm gonna embark on a new hobby.
I honestly 1000% support because I did something pretty similar last year around this time when I started doing my nails.
Hmm.
So I love to have my nails done and I work in the beauty industry and it's kind of like an expectation that you have like your hair, your makeup, and your nails done at all times.
Yeah.
And I don't love going to the nail salon because it's so expensive and they
Yeah.
never get it right for me. And I never love them. And like another point, it's expensive. So I started doing them myself. I started doing the UV Gel X
Hmm.
and I love it because it takes like 2 hours out of my day, like every couple weeks. I can sit down with a good movie that I've never watched before and just go to town and I love it. And it has definitely helped because it's like, okay, like I have a couple hours where I'm not looking at my phone because I can't be scrolling through my phone.
Yeah.
And I get to kind of let that creative freedom ring,
Yeah.
or like let it go. So I honestly support.
Yeah, I
I love
think
it.
so like is it cool to develop new hobbies just to like satisfy your seasonal depression and like creativity?
1000%.
Yeah, 100% agree.
1000%. And I personally think that I should have explored more creative hobbies during this previous fall and winter season
Yeah, me
before
too.
like
Spring is now upon us.
yeah, like spring is now upon us. Like I'm never gonna be home to enjoy those hobbies, but I can find other hobbies that are outdoors to enjoy
Yeah.
instead. So that's that. The last topic that I had for today, I think it's a little bit of a lengthy one, and I really don't know how I want to delve into it. So I think I want to save it for another episode.
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Um, because my brain is scrambled eggs right now because I've been sick the last couple days and being sick after having spiraled right before that,
Yeah.
not a great combination. Honestly, I don't recommend. I don't recommend. So, yeah,
Save it.
I think we'll save it. But do you have any last thoughts for the end of this week's episode?
I encourage everyone to find a new hobby. Anything. Do something with your hands. Go outside.
Please, on the YouTube account, on the Instagram account, even on the Spotify account, like comment what
Yeah.
your favorite hobby is that you've picked up that's either been a creative hobby, a physical hobby, just whatever it is. I
Even if
want
it's
to
just
hear, I want to
walking, like
know.
anything.
Yeah. I need ideas for something to pick up for this spring. Like, not that I need to, but just like I want to do something more in my free time.
Hmm.
So we want to hear it.
Yeah, we do.
Let us know. Also, how was your St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah, let
Because
us
the
know.
last episode was our St. Patrick's Day episode.
And you need to tell us if you did anything worthy of a story. That'd be
Me?
so, no, 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 the viewers.
The
That would be
listeners.
something that'd be really
Yeah.
fun. Eventually, if we can get to a point where like people send in their own stories and we can
Oh my
like,
God, I'd love that.
or their own topics and we can
Yeah.
discuss them.
To follow up on last week's episode, I didn't do anything crazy. I didn't black out. I didn't go home with a man. I didn't run off, which is what has happened in years past. I went to JG Mellon with my mom, and then we went to the Irish bar down the street after that. And she made friends, people that were from Ireland, and she was having a grand old time. More was so. I mean, honestly, yeah, she was having a grand old time. I didn't go to our favorite bar. I didn't go see our favorite bartender. I have not seen him since New Year's, which is so sad.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I didn't do anything crazy because last episode I actually asked for people to send suggestions on what to do, even though it was going up at the same time that I was already out. But oh well.
I did nothing because my fiance was out of town and I came home from work and went to bed.
But you celebrated a couple days early because
We
it is
did.
your
We
anniversary.
celebrated our anniversary. We made plates to eat our wedding cake off of next year. So, oh my
I
gosh, when
love
we
it.
get to do a wedding recap episode, we'll have to get Jeff to do that with us.
I think we will.
Yeah, we'll have to get Jeff to do that with us, our wedding recap episode.
Jeff, sit down. We're going to talk about your wedding. You actually have to say more than 5 words.
Literally, you have to say more than 5 words. More than, okay, cool, right.
Yeah,
His three favorite words.
that is Jeff's whole entire vocabulary. And it's not
Oh,
me roasting Jeff. That's just
that
genuinely
is
how
just
he
Jeff.
is.
Okay, cool,
Yeah,
right.
he's a very simple man.
Yeah. Man, a few
He's
words.
he's man a few worries, but he's also the greatest. He's like the big brother that I never knew I wanted.
That's one of the first things Delaney, and then we have to like cut this off. That's one of the first things Delaney ever said to him. Like after we had been together for a while and we all went out and like we're drinking, we're having a good time. And he said something to her about her dating life or whatever. And she goes, "You're the big brother I never wanted." And he was like,
Exactly.
"Thanks, I think."
Yeah, exactly.
But I love you.
Anyway, I love you too. This was so much fun.
I'll see you in a few minutes when we regroup for our next episode.
Of course. All right. Love
All right.
you.
Love you. Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye, guys.